The Golden Secret of the Valley. In the scorching heat of the Valley of the Kings, the sun beat down on the golden sands. Howard Carter, a determined man with a dusty hat, had spent years searching for a lost king. Beside him stood Salim, a local boy who knew the desert's every whisper. Together, they looked over a map that was worn thin from use, hoping that today would be the day history finally spoke back to them. For weeks, the crew had been digging through layers of heavy stone and rubble. Suddenly, Howard Carter's shovel hit something hard. He dropped to his knees, his heart racing. He began to brush away the dust with his bare hands. There, emerging from the earth like a ghost, was the top of a stone step. It was the first sign of a hidden staircase leading deep into the ground. While Howard Carter documented the find, Salim worked tirelessly to clear the path. He filled heavy wicker baskets with sand and carried them up to the surface. Each step he uncovered felt like a secret being whispered from the past. He knew that beneath his feet lay something that had been hidden for over 3,000 years. At the bottom of the stairs stood a magnificent door, sealed with the royal mark of a jackal and 9 captives. Howard Carter was joined by Lord Carnarvon, the man who had funded the long search. They stood in the dim light of the passage, staring at the ancient clay seal. It was unbroken, meaning no one had entered this place since the time of the pharaohs. Lord Carnarvon leaned against the cool stone wall, his face a mix of exhaustion and hope. He had waited years for this moment, pouring his fortune into the desert sands. "Is it really him, Howard?" he asked quietly. He gripped his walking stick tightly, his eyes fixed on the door that stood between them and the greatest discovery of the century. The day to open the door finally arrived in early 1923. Howard Carter took a small hammer and a thin copper rod. He didn't want to destroy the door. He only needed a tiny glimpse. With steady hands and bated breath, he began to tap. A small hole appeared in the upper left corner of the sealed entrance. The air that escaped smelled of ancient dust and forgotten time. Howard Carter widened the hole just enough to fit a candle through. As the flame flickered in the darkness beyond, he peered inside. At first, he saw nothing but shadows. Then, as his eyes adjusted, the light reflected off something metallic. Everywhere he looked, there was the glint of gold. He stood frozen, unable to find his voice. Lord Carnarvon couldn't wait any longer. "Can you see anything?" he whispered, his voice trembling with excitement. Howard Carter turned back to him, his face illuminated by the dancing candle flame. A slow smile spread across his tired face. "Yes," Howard Carter replied, his voice barely a whisper. "Wonderful things." They entered the chamber, and the sight took their breath away. Salim held a lantern high, revealing golden chariots, statues of ebony and gold, and strange animal-shaped couches. It was a room filled with the treasures of a king who had been forgotten by the world. Salim walked slowly, his eyes darting from one shimmering object to another. In the center of the innermost room, they found what they were truly looking for. Howard Carter and Salim stood before a massive stone sarcophagus. As they looked upon the face of the golden mask, they realized they weren't just looking at treasure. They were looking at the face of a boy king named Tutankhamun. The secret of the valley was finally shared with the world.